Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Grounded Football Tottenham Hotspur edition. We are back after a Premier League win. We are back after a disgusting Europa League conference performance. And tonight we will be getting the all-time Spurs 11 from Mark, from Alan, from Jacob, from myself, and fingers crossed from the new panelist that we've got on this show. Obviously not here at the minute due to personal reasons, but hopefully we'll make it. But Mark, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. A little bit snotty, but other than that, yeah, I'm good.
Well, we can't catch it through YouTube, so we are happy about that, Mark. Alan, how are you, bud?
Yeah, I'm all good. Good after a Premier League win. Europa League win, I think, is just highlighted the dead wood that needs to go, who aren't no longer good enough for this club. We'll still go through. He'll play the better team like in other games, so it's not all lost and all that. If he doesn't decide to take it serious, then I'm not fast with that. But apart from that, everything else is good. Let's just get into it.
He's always got to complain about summer, Tanny Allen. Always got to complain.
It's true. I am not complaining.
Jacob, how are you, man?
Ryan. You do me dirty.
I'm all good, mate. Mixed feelings of the week, but probably feel the same way as Alan. But yeah, not too bad. I've had a good week, so all good.
Very good. Well, we're going to dive straight into it, and we'll go to the snotty one first. Mark, an away victory against Newcastle, obviously super rich, sugar daddy Newcastle. Were you happy with the performance?
Yeah, I thought it was amazing. I predicted something. I did think we'd win. I like the way he set us up. Second time in a row, he's gone with the same team. And I think after 1 minute and 29 seconds, I think we were all sitting there going, oh, good God, what's going to happen? But I think after 10 minutes, I think we passed the ball, we played the ball around, and I think there was some top performances by a lot of people. None other than Tanguy. I'll be honest, if he plays a lot like that, and if we pass the ball a lot like that, we're going to win a lot more games than we will lose. I just thought we were very good. We were decent all around the park. There's quite a few players that I'd like to say they played well, and I'm sure we'll all go through that. But yeah, I thought a decent performance and a very well deserved. I just think what we need to do is we need to finish our chances now. We can't. I don't want to sit here and say, well, we could have won that game 5-1, 6-1. We need to win those games 5-1, 6-1 because we had the chances to do it. So, but yeah, very pleased with the performance. Really pleased.
Yeah, Alan, what about you? How did you leave that Newcastle game feeling?
So it was a win, which was good. We started very slowly and we got better as the game went on. Newcastle, the reason why I predicted the win is because Newcastle are a bad team with a really bad manager. He's gone now, so they should see an uptick in fortune. But for me, we should be putting him to the sword. We had the chances to make it 5-6-1 and we didn't. In games further down the line where we don't take our chances, we're going to come unstuck and drop points like we did, say, against West Ham last season. It's just the Tottenham way. So we need to just be putting in teams to the sword. Tungi, I think, sewing up that number 10 position. He looks a much better player. For me, that means Dele Alli's time is done. Get him out. Keeping the same team it was against Villa. It makes sense. I think that's going to be our starting lineup. For the rest, barring injuries, which will be good. But just Eric Dyer at the end doing Eric Dyer things. It's just one of them things that we have to deal with while he's in the team. But yeah, overall, it was a decent performance. But like I said, we need to be putting teams like that to bed 4-5-6-1 and resting players because he kept the full team on and then put the youth and B team and like fringe players in the Europa Conference. Or the Conference League. So basically, he's hedged all his bets on beating West Ham, or like having everyone available for West Ham. So he needs to win that game.
Definitely, yeah, especially after Thursday's game. But Jacob, talk to me about the Newcastle win. How did you feel after that game?
Yeah, I'd say it was a good performance. I wouldn't say it was excellent because, like the boys alluded to, Newcastle are crap. In my mind, I did think we were going to lose, and when they scored that goal in the first minute, I had my head in my hands. I was just like, here we go. But deep down you did think to yourself, if we do score a goal, everybody's going to shut up here. Newcastle did take it a bit too far with dressing up as Saudi Arabs and things like that. It was a bit mad, but it was good. I think we should have took more chances, but I think it was one of those performances that even though we played well, Newcastle played crap. It's not like we played well and Newcastle did their hardest and we undone them. It's just Newcastle were that bad that I think anyone worse than Spurs probably would have beat him on that day as well. Even the one who I thought I was going to give us the biggest threat, Maximin, he didn't really do much. You know what I mean? He did a couple of things, but when you look at Newcastle's team realistically, if Newcastle are going to be these rich guys and they look at that starting 11, they're probably going to get rid of 10 of the 11. And not only are they going to get rid of them, most of them are going to end up in the Championship. So that's the sort of opposition we're playing against. So it's a good win, but I wouldn't go as far as saying it was an excellent one, because with the players that we've got, we should be winning that game.
I get hate for this everywhere I go, but for me, all 11 of them that don't make it into the Newcastle team, I don't think St. Maximin's any good, but everyone seems to criticise him.
Shut up, Alan.
What, he's slightly better than Alan. No.
Alan.
I think he's better than Lucas Moura. I'd rather have him than Lucas Moura.
What?
Yeah, definitely. Without fail.
Gentlemen, save the argument until later. We're 6 minutes in. We'll leave that till later. But obviously, before I ask you about certain players, boys, we've got a comment here from Ravi. He wants to know, is Harry Winks too lightweight for the Prem? I would use a different word than lightweight, to be quite honest. I would use the word shit. But, Mark, what's your thoughts on Harry Winks right now?
Sorry, what was that? I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
Your thoughts on Harry Winks at the minute? The question was, do you think he's too lightweight for the Premiership?
I still don't understand why he's at Spurs, to be fair, and not just us wanting to get rid of him. I think him for himself. If he wants to make his name in this game, he's going to have to go himself, because the guy's the most one-sided football player I've ever seen. It's always from side to side or backwards. He's got no forward thinking about himself, and he annoys. If there's one player in the team, he's the one that annoys me more than anybody else. I've got nothing against the lad, and I've got nothing. I love the game, but for his own sake, he now needs to leave. He's just and answering that. Is he good enough for the Prem? I don't know. I don't know. Would he fit in a Wolves? Would he fit in a kind of a less
Newcastle?
Newcastle, absolutely. Would he fit in that? You never know. But I just don't think he fits. You saw him last night, and he could have taken that game by the scruff of the neck and said, "Look, guys, you've chosen Skip and all these guys before me. Let me show you how good I am." And look, it wasn't only him, to be fair. I think there was a lot of them out there yesterday that didn't take the game by the scruff of the neck. But, there's such a divide between the two teams. We've got a first team and we've got a second team. And there's maybe 1, 2 or 3 players in that second team that can sit on our bench. But, yeah, as Harry Winks goes, no. And it's not just this season. It's even last season that I just didn't think he was good enough for us. And he should move on anyway. And I think he will. I think come January, you'll see him move on.
Alan, is that the same for you? Obviously, 4 years ago he was an England regular somehow. I don't like it. I still don't get how himself and obviously Dele Alli, who's not part of it, were England regulars. But what's your thoughts on Winks?
So he burst onto the scene. He done all right, but he's not progressed. He's gone backwards, if anything. It's all sideways, passing backwards, slow. It's not progressing the ball quick enough up the field. Skip does him in every single aspect of the game, as far as I'm concerned. He should have gone in the summer, but Daniel Levy wanted ridiculous money. Daniel Levy just needs to get rid of even if we take a bit of a loss, because there's just revenue coming in from the stadium and all that now. Just take some losses, get the deadwood out and, get in better players. He's not good enough. He may be able to play in the Prem, but not if you're wanting it. If he's not going to play in any of the top 6 teams, any of the top 8 teams, he'll probably fit like a Norwich kind of thing for me. And yeah, just get him out. He's not good enough to play for Spurs. So no more of this sentiment, FC. Just get him out of the door. Goodbye.
Yeah,
See you later.
Can I just say something though? You know, Alan says just get rid of him and take the loss. But there is no loss with him. Isn't he home? Isn't he from Spurs? So he came through our academy. So it's not like we spent millions, you know.
Yeah.
And look what we did with Aurier. We bought him out of his contract and sent him on his way anyway. We got nothing. So why can't we do that for it? So I agree with Alan. You know, for me, there's no loss there. Just say to the boy, thank you, but you know, we love you, but go on your way. That's how I look at it.
Boys, they're the worst words I hate on this show. When Mark says, I agree with Alan. Me and Jacob don't want that. Me and Jacob don't want those words uttered on this show.
Wait. We've still got our teams to
Yeah, we've got plenty of time, mate. Plenty.
I'm winning the quadruple, pal.
But you're making everyone think who watches this that me and Mark hate each other unconditionally. It's not true.
Hey, it's good for viewership, Alan.
We are tomorrow, aren't we, Alan? You and I. They don't know.
Yeah, they don't know.
Well, before I go to Jacob on this, another question from Ravi. This one was on Matt Doherty, and no, Ravi, that conversation would last longer than Winks. So no, we're not talking about Matt Doherty.
I would personally wrap him myself and take him elsewhere. I'd post him myself. I would make sure he gets there first class and just get rid of him to anyone. He's awful, Matt Doherty.
You know that saying, taxi.
You'd send him in an EastEnders taxi in, mate.
Yeah.
Talk to us about Winks, Jacob. Give us your quick thoughts on Harry Winks.
I think with Harry Winks, along with players like Dele Alli and Eric Dyer, is proof of how good Pochettino was as a coach. Because when Poch had him, these were England regulars. Like not only in the squad, they were actually starting. I remember there was a friendly where we had, I think it was Eric Dyer was centre midfield with Harry Winks. We had Harry Kane up front, Dele Alli behind him. We had Danny Rose left back, and even though Walker had just left to go Man City, we had him who pretty much was a Spurs player because he'd only just left. So like there was 6 players that Poch had coached, and realistically, that just proves how good a coach he was. You know, he probably would have known their flaws and realised what it was to get the best out of their game. So I think it doesn't help that the coaches that Harry Winks has had after Poch haven't really helped his game. So he's probably been disillusioned. It feels like Harry Winks has been out of the game for about 3-4 years because he's had to work with Mourinho, he's had to work with Ryan Mason. You know, Nuno hasn't really been given much time. So it's like whether Harry Winks was going to be the next best thing or not, it didn't help with the coaches he's got. But you can't be throwing your toys out the pram because Harry Kane's had to work with them same coaches and effectively got better. So Son, Eric Dyer, he's always been suspect anyway, but effectively he was a midfielder under Poch. But with Winks, he has got to go. You know, it's not the case of saying, oh, he's going to come good. He's not, because when he tries to think forward, it's always a misplaced pass that leads to a created chance. He doesn't really tackle, passes sideways. It's like, realistically, if we're going to keep Harry Winks and you want him for his qualities, you might as well let me play for Tottenham because I can pass it sideways if you want. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like literally, if you tell me, Jacob, just get the ball and just pass it to someone, give me the money because I can do that for you. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you're professional football or not. The reason why you should be playing for a Tottenham or a team above that is because you've got something different. If you're going to play it sideways and be looked to be great, no disrespect to other clubs, but like Mark and Alan said, you might as well go to a Norwich or Crystal Palace, because Crystal Palace you'll shine because you could play in centre midfield with a Kouyaté or Milivojevic and look great, and the Palace fans will love you. But if we're trying to push for top 6 status and trying to win things, I don't understand why Tottenham want him, and 2, I don't understand why you want to stay and play in the Conference League and still have a crap game. You know, you might as well just move on.
Yeah, I do agree with Mark. I do see him moving on in January. But from the Newcastle game, I'm going to ask you all about a single player. You've got a defender for one of you, a midfielder for one of you, and a striker, because to be honest, Lloris, we don't really need to say much about him. He's steady as a rock in that goal. So I'm going to go to you first, Mark, on the player, and I'm going to give you a man who you've bigged up this season, saying once he gets his first goal, then he will start getting going. That's when his season starts. So tell me, Mark, Harry Kane's goal, and how do you think he played against Newcastle?
I thought it was his best game this season so far. He looked interested. Did you see everybody when he scored the goal? Everybody thought offside. and they were just standing, and all of a sudden the goal was given. Did you see everybody run towards him, jump? Did you see the smile on his face? It's the first time I've really seen him kind of passionate about Spurs again. Did you see how he set up Sonny? Do you know, his whole footballing brain just changed. I thought it was his best game this season, even though he scored a hat-trick a few weeks ago against those minnows. I thought it was his best game. And like I said, I think we could have done a lot better. We could have gone and scored 5-1, and that's going to come. And I did say, we just need one from him. Once he turns, you're going to see this boy. He'll get 20, 25 goals again this season. And we just need that little bit of luck here and there. And yeah, listen, I know what happened over the summer. I know he wanted to go and all that. I know he needs a few weeks just to get his head right and everything. But the guy is an amazing striker, you know. I have no doubts that he's going to go on to bigger and better things. And you never know. He might just go there and say, listen, I'm going to stay with Spurs. We don't know what's going on in the background. We don't know what he's talking to Nuno Paratici about. We just don't know. We don't know if there's a new offer on the table where he's going to be paid £350,000 a week. We just don't know. But what I saw on Sunday, if he can go back and when we play West Ham this weekend, if he can kind of replicate that again, the guy's going to be awesome. And I have no doubt we're going to be sitting there at the end of the season chanting his name again.
Yeah, I mean, a very quick question again here from Ravi Mark, where he says some people say when Kane's not in the team playing, the team is a lot better. Is that how you see it? No. Yeah, sometimes when he's not in the team, we play well. But when he's in the team, listen, 9.9999 out of 10 teams, Harry Kane in the team, he makes the team stronger. Sorry. And anybody that doesn't see Harry Kane making a team stronger, they don't play football. They don't know football. Harry Kane, Lewandowski, these guys, they eat goals for dinner. You know, so if somebody tells me any team with Harry Kane is weaker than without him, is deluded. Harry Kane on his day is one of the top 3 strikers on this planet. And we all know that. Not because he plays for Tottenham, but he is just simply one of the top 3 strikers on the planet. And if you ask any team, any manager that's worth their salt in football, ask them, would they take one of the top 3 strikers on the planet and put them in the team? The answer would be yes. So for me, he makes any team stronger. Yes, he has his off days, but he will make any team stronger. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Alan, you've got the defender of the team. They look so sad, Alan. Be happy about this. Come on.
I'm not. Look, I'm smiling.
Oh, Alan, I mean, she might not be here yet, but we've got the gift queen in the comments ready to catch her when she wants to. But Kerr says Son is our best player. Kane does improve the squad. That's a given. But the squad improve their own performances when he isn't near. And also, hey fellas. So we've got Kerr waiting for the Alan eye roll, as it's known now.
There's no eye roll coming.
But, Alan, I'm going to give you a player, Sergio Reguilon. Obviously, second season with us. I think he's started the season quite well myself. How do you think he started? Do you think he's been a bit of I won't say an unsung hero for us, because obviously he's not done anything that's changed the team completely, but how do you compare his start to this season to coming in last season?
So I thought when he came in last season, he started really well for us. I remember vividly the game against Man City at home, the 2-0 win, where I remember that he got given like a roast, like a roast pig or ham or whatever it was. I can't remember what it was, because he kept Mara's pocket all game. No one got past him. And then he got injured and he went, and he went off the ball. He wasn't good enough. He kept making mistakes and all that. He's made the odd mistake this season. He's not been perfect. No player has. But for me, Reguilon has been one of our players of the season. People say, he's a bit weak defensively, but he's getting better at that with every game. You can see that. And he's bursting forward. The amount of energy he had up and down the thing, developing into his game, the finishing and the composure in the strike, he has the chance of adding that to his game. But yeah, for me, he's been one of our steadiest players at the back.
She's waiting for Mark to set you off, look. Yeah. She's waiting for Mark to get you going.
Yeah, I've got to stop some arrows, apparently. But yeah, no, for me, definitely one of our unsung heroes of the season. Like I said, I don't recall many people getting past him against Newcastle.
Enoch in.
I can't hit that wall,
Right,
but
just for that, boys, he's gone. I've had enough. No more.
But yeah, no.
So that, mate.
Yeah, but for me, like he's improving going forward as well. He's got a great cross on him. He's been with us. Romero's coming in and steady that back line even more. But yeah, for me, Reguilon's been one of the best players in that team consistently throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob, your player I'm going to give you is Tanguy Ndombele, obviously in that new 10 role. Seems he's got his goal against Newcastle. It was a brilliant goal against Newcastle. But how do you think he will do in that role? And as a question from Ravi, obviously he says, is Dele Alli done out here? How does Ndombele playing in that 10 role affect Dele now going forward?
I think even if Ndombele gets injured, Dele Alli I think he needs to leave more than Harry Winks does. Probably just the same. It's just he doesn't. I'm not saying he's not interested, but he doesn't play like he's interested like he used to. You know, the Dele Alli that we know used to not only create chances and score goals and have a bit of flair around him. He also used to work his socks off and put a foot in. He just doesn't do anything now. It's like he feels sorry. We used to feel sorry for him. Now he just feels sorry for himself. So I'm not saying Ndombele is the best number 10 out there in the world, but he's doing okay. You know, against Newcastle, great goal. You know, I ain't gonna lie, I went mad because I was so pissed off that we conceded the first goal that when Ndombele banged that, I did go pretty mad to the point where people come in the study to wonder what I was doing. But for me, we need to just be set up where we literally say to Ndombele, don't worry about coming back too much and retracting the ball. Just do what you got to do, because his feet. I ain't gonna lie, his feet are probably the best in the league. Like I can't think of somebody that's got feet like his. Like no one's doing the stuff that he does on the ball, but he needs to make those moments where he's, using that skill to affect games, and he did it against Newcastle. If he can keep doing that and scoring sort of 15 goals in all competitions towards the end of the season and creating opportunities like he does, then yeah, he gets a thumbs up from me. Like Dele Alli, Lo Celso, all these characters, just not only do they not even fit the mould and even touch Ndombele, even if Ndombele broke his leg tomorrow, I don't know. Who'd you choose out of the two? Our number 10 options are so crap. Like, I don't think there's anybody in the Premier League can say they've got 3 number 10s and 2 of them are crap. So, yeah, Ndombele, good performance last week. The skills are second to none, if you ask me. I think that when he's doing all these skills and using that flair, he needs to be able to adapt that into a lot more winning opportunities. You know, imagine if he's sat in the number 10 position and leaving souls in the middle of the park and he's feeding Harry Kane, Son. You should be getting more goals than you should do last season with this guy in number 10. But a lot of the time, no disrespect to him, he's doing a lot of these skills in the corner flag and by the throwing line. If he does that a bit more central, then you get to the point where we were talking about Ndombele, we'll Tottenham keep him rather than last season when we were saying, should we sell him?
Yeah, I mean, Mark, I've said this now already. I've said that the number 10 position for Ndombele is so much better for him because he hasn't got to work as hard. Obviously, in a natural centre midfield position, he's got to be up and down, up and down. It does not suit his game. But how do you see him going forward in this 10 role? Do you think this could be a new man for us now?
Oh, I think so. And he's shown glimpses of that with Aston Villa, and then obviously on Sunday against Newcastle. For me, he was. If it wasn't the incident that happened where you have to give it to guys because football is about passion and everything, but life is life, and I think he would have been my player of the match. He kind of controlled it, and it's the best I've seen him play, to be fair. And he gave us 97 minutes. So I just think it will go from strength to strength to strength to strength, and I think he's putting himself in the shop window. To be fair, and I think if he continues to play like this and he has games like this, I think come next year, April, May, I think you're going to see lots of teams wanting him, because he's very, very, very gifted, and sitting just behind Harry Kane, Sonny, and people like that. You could see how well he was doing, and to have Skippy and Hoiberg behind him that's mopping it all up. He didn't have to really work hard going backwards, and I think that's important. And I've always said, defending is not his forte. He's got no energy for that. But going forward, and the way he took that first goal was amazing, wasn't it? It was just so nonchalant. It was just, he didn't even look at the goal. He just knew where it was, and he just kind of curled it round with his right foot. It was amazing. And I just think he's going to be, yeah, like you say, I think the way he's playing now, he could be that extra man for us that we didn't have, although he's been with us for nearly 3 years now, So very impressed. And, it's only 2 games. It's only 1 game where he's done over 90 minutes. So, yeah, baby steps. Let's see how he does on Sunday, because he'll definitely play on Sunday. And let's see him roast the West Ham.
Yeah, I mean, just to answer, well, that's a separate conversation, but we've got one from Chris here saying, do you know Let's Talk Premier League Niall? I mean, I've done a few shows with Niall. I think he does the EFL show for the First 11 with Aaron, and I think it's the is it One Rovers Vlog? I think they do one together. I don't know why that's been asked, Chris, but yeah, I've done a few shows with him. But gentlemen, we'll go to the next game. This game is the final for the West. Whether they say it is or not, whether they finished above us last season or not, this is West Ham's biggest games of the season. These 2. So, Alan, talk to me. Obviously, predictions will be at the end, but give me your thoughts. How do you approach this game against West Ham?
So you're starting to get balance. Oh yeah, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
I'd
can hear you
approach
now,
it.
yeah.
I'd approach it like we have the last 2. We've now got a team that looks like it's a bit more balanced in what it wanted to do. So I wouldn't mess about with it. You've rested all the players for the week. Not send them out to the Conference League for this game. Keep doing what they're doing. I think they'll get better with every week goes on. Play the game in the same fashion we have in the last 2. West Ham, I believe, have played more players in the middle of the week than we have, so fatigue might come into it. But we need to play on the front foot. If we allow West Ham, especially with their fans, because this is their cup final, if we allow West Ham to play on the front foot and get their fans on side and they're well up for it, then it's going to be a very tough afternoon. It always is when we go to theirs. But we just need to start on the front foot, silence the crowd, get an early goal, and hopefully, like I say, that fatigue might come in. I'm not entirely sure if they've got any players out of injury. I don't know. But Antonio is always a threat. You need to silence him. You need to keep him well marshalled. So I'd let Romero do that rather than Dyer. Keep him quiet. Declan Rice, I think if you put pressure on him, he gets flustered. So I'd make sure Tungi is keeping close to Harry Kane, keeping that area between striker and number 10 closed so that Declan Rice can't get on the ball and dictate play. And I think if you do that, you can snuff out quite a bit of West Ham's thing. But they're a very decent team, and especially under David Moyes, I think he should have got manager. Did he get manager of the season last season?
I don't think so.
I think he should have done. I think he's done a great job with them. So yeah, it's going to be a very tough game. It's not going to be easy at all. So I think if we do those type of things, we'll have a lot more joy, and it'll be an easier game than what if we don't address those 2 areas.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob Allen's just summed it up there perfectly with the likes of Ndombele, obviously giving Rice something to think about, and Antonio for them. Obviously, we've got Romero now who can marshal that defence a lot better. But do you see us, Jacob, going at West Ham and giving them something to think about rather than us sitting back, letting them attack us and trying it on the counter?
I think we need to learn from the Arsenal game. I think it was a North London derby and Nuno said, right, let's just sit off and see what they got. And unfortunately for us, Arsenal had quite a bit that we couldn't handle. So if you go and do the same thing, you know, in the grand scheme of things, West Ham are a better team than Arsenal. So if you go and do that and let them play and they start knocking it over the top to Antonio, it doesn't matter how good a defender you are, Antonio will give you problems because he's just got that natural strength and speed that it don't matter how good you are as a defender, he'll just push you off the ball. So I just think we've got to treat West Ham like we did Newcastle, just take the game to them. And for me, that's the Tottenham way, really. We've always attacked teams. You know, we've had worse teams and we've played Man United. We've played, you know, Liverpool's in the past and lost, but we all knew that we were going to attack them. So why sit off West Ham? You know, effectively, as much as people will arguably say they're a better team than us, they've never been a bigger club than us. So why are we sitting off them? I think we should just go and take the game to them. Simple as that. It's a London derby, so
Yeah.
if it's a London derby and you don't want to take it to the team, then for me, you're already defeated. You know, if we play Chelsea, Arsenal, West Ham, I don't understand why you'd want to say to yourself, oh, let's just give them 20 minutes like we're Burnley. Take it to them. We've got the best striker in the league. Don't care how many goals he scored recently. He is the best striker on his day. We've got Son, who arguably people will say, bar Salah, is one of the best attacking wing forwards. So if we've got two players that are arguably the best in the league, and then we've got Ndombele, who's got probably the most talented feet, take the game to him, and them three can go and win us the game. If you sit off them, you're pretty much saying to them three, oh, just wait up there until we get the ball to you, which effectively, if you've got them three players and you're telling them you're going to have 3 or 4 moments in the game, then you might as well tell West Ham you're going to win the game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, we've got a comment here from Premier Hotspur TV. This is someone I do follow on Twitter and someone I will be looking to get on in future shows very soon. But obviously, he's saying like, hope we turn up Sunday. Kane and Son can continue their good scoring record against West Spam, which I prefer that name. I think that name's a lot better than West Ham. I love that name. But Mark, give me your feelings on the game. How are you going to go in on Sunday with that game?
I'm going through the cases. I'm going to the game. So I'm going to be there. So I'll be sending you some videos live. Listen, I think we're going to go there and win. I really do. I think 2 on a bounce. We're starting to gel together, and you know, I just want to go back to, you know, on Sunday, and I know people are ragging Dyer for that goal, but listen, have you ever been in a position where you walk in towards somebody and you go left, that person goes left, they go right, you go right, left, and you're like, you know. So if you look back, and you look at that ball coming over, and it kind of skims Ramiro's head. Have you seen it? And I honestly think Dyer thought he was going to head it. And as it's come over, Dyer's like, oh God, here comes the ball. And he didn't know whether to head it, to kick it, and he's got that. And it's just hit him on the knee and gone. It could have gone anywhere. So I thought Dyer actually had a pretty good game. I'm not going to sit here and knock him for that. I think that was just a complete. He didn't cause that accident. Because I honestly thought that ball was going to be headed. So, yeah, I think we're going to go there. I think we're going to go out strong. I think we're going to take the game to them. I don't think Nuno's going to let them. Nuno, yeah.
It's the
It must be the night nurse that I'm drinking.
Mark's on the promise,
I
isn't
think, yeah, I don't think he's going to do another Arsenal, do you? So I think he's going to go out there, and with the team that we've got and the way we've played the last 2 games, you know, with the way Højbjerg, with the way Skip, with the way Ramiro's playing, I think the 4 guys up front, including Ndombele, I think they're just going to go for it. And honestly, I see us being 3-0 up at half time. I really do. I've got this strange feeling in me. I'm going to the game on Sunday, so I'm looking forward to it.
How much of that night nurse have you had?
Just don't bring on just don't bring on Winks in the second half.
Oh wow! Well,
Mark's been sniffing the night nurse.
I can't bear another 3-3 draw.
I am looking forward to your prediction at the end of this show, Mark. But obviously, we've got cursed in the comments again. Obviously, Dyer's own goal It's a no-brainer that he did cause that himself. There's nowhere else that ball's going to go but in that net. Get him out as well. He can join the Winks, Davis, Delhi train. I do agree, yeah. I don't think he's been hideous like last season, but I do think we can improve that area of the pitch massively. But obviously, like I say, boys, we're going to go to the predictions at the end of the show. Hopefully, Kirst can come on. Obviously, we've got another comment here saying, "How can Tottenham be?" But I mean, we just are. We just are. It's that simple.
For when we were formed, I don't know. That's what we can be.
No, I don't know that one either. But gentlemen, we're 35 minutes in. It's time for your all 11s, boys. It's time to listen to your all 11s. Alan has been racking his brain all week of who not to get rid of.
Being so hard.
I can't wait for Mark's one, man. Like Mark's gonna have like a team where you're gonna be like, you lucky git.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna go, boys, from position to position.
Okay,
so I'm going to start. Obviously, Mark has disappeared. Obviously, that night nurse has called him back. So we'll wait for Mark to come back. But
So
I'll start with. Oh,
yes.
Go on, Alan.
So just obviously so the people that are watching know it's not we're all picking from the best like of all time. It's from when we've started watching. I think that's Mark.
Mark, I think you give your computer some night nurse as well, mate.
It's buzzing. It's literally
buzzing. Yeah, literally buzzing.
Your phone is buzzing, Mark. Like really loud buzzing. Oh God, let's.
Yes.
I mean, Kirst is back. This is a PG show, Kirst. What's wrong with you? There's no need for that at all. Obviously, before I go to Mark, obviously Premier Hotspur's back in. Nuno has to start the same team against West Ham that started against Newcastle because it looks very balanced. Yes, that is very true. You've got to start that team. But Mark, are you happy now? Are you sorted?
Yeah. Can you hear us, Mark?
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, yeah.
I can't hear you guys.
Oh, wow.
Go out and come back in.
Yeah, log out, Mark, and come back in.
Yeah, so these teams are done based on when we started watching. So Mark's going to be from the 50s, 60s area. I'm going to be from 94, 95 season. I think you guys are a couple of seasons on.
Yeah, mine's 98, 99.
And what's yours, Jacob?
Mine's from, let me think. Yeah, mine's about the same as you, mate. 94, 95 onwards.
94, 95, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be great if we got the same team.
And obviously, if...
I don't think we'll be too far off. I think there'll be... I did think when I was speaking to myself, I reckon me and Alan would have to pretty much the same team because we're pretty much the same age. It'll just be... There's one position that I thought that we're not disagreeing, we just have different players. I've got a feeling, but we'll see.
Hopefully, Kirst can make it at some point. Obviously, Kirst, let me know in the comments if you can. If you can't, then that's absolutely fine. But obviously, if Kirst was coming in, that was from the season 2018, 2019. She's only seen. She's a young Tottenham fan. She's the new breed Tottenham fan.
16, 17 onwards.
16, 17, except for Bale. But Kirst is this new. At least the likes of me, Alan, and Jacob got to see us and celebrate the Chelsea Worthington Cup victory with a Woodgate header. At least we've had that, lads. Obviously, let's see
what a day.
This time. That's good, Mark. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, there we go, pal.
Perfect.
There we go. Let me move you back to your vice captain position. Get you right away from Alan. All the way from.
What does that make me then? The sub?
No, you are my assistant manager, Jacob. I need you here to control the madness. Alan is the John Joe Shoulder, the reckless John Joe Shoulder.
Don't do me dirty. I'm not shocking like him. No, that's it.
I'm just. Alan, no matter where you go, you're still not going Thursdays. You're staying with us on Fridays. You're not going onto these Thursday shows. But to all the viewers listening, don't forget to subscribe to the First 11 channel, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. This 11, like Alan said, was from when we started watching Spurs. So obviously myself, Jacob, Alan, we couldn't pick the likes of Jimmy Greaves or players like that. This is just from when we were old enough to support Spurs and remember the players. So first of all, I'm just going to ask, no players needed at the minute, boys, but Mark, what's your formation for this team?
I've gone 4-3.
Mark's gone 1-1-8.
Yeah.
So positive.
I've gone 23 because I couldn't choose. No, I've gone 4-4-1-2. Sorry, 4-3-1-2.
Yeah, that's better, Mark. Don't sneak any players in, Mark.
Yeah.
He's got a goalie in midfield.
Back in the day when I started, we were allowed 13 players. No, I started supporting Spurs in 1981. So,
Cursed, just to let you know, we're not picking on Mark. Obviously, Mark is the perfect one on this channel. Mark is the positive man. Mark,
see, that's my girl. She looks after me.
I wish I could be like Mark because I'd be less stressed.
Don't we
Trust
all?
me, mate. I actually look up to Mark and think, I wish I could wake up every morning with that positivity.
Hold on,
do it.
Hold on, Jacob. Now you can look up to me, Jacob.
Look up to me.
He is there now, Jacob.
So all I do is get called grumpy, moany, Jojo Shelby. What's going on? I'm going HR. I'm going HR. Bloody
right. Let me go. Obviously, so that's Mark's. My formation is 4-3-3. Alan, what's yours for the team?
Depending on how you look at it, 4-1-4-1 or 4-5-1.
Ooh, 4-5-1. A Nuno formation now. This is getting into this manager now.
Oh no, it isn't when you see the people on the sheet. It's not.
Jacob, what formation you gone for?
Mine's 4-2-3-1.
Oh.
4-2-3-1. Right, let's get into the players then, boys. Mark, who is your goalkeeper for this team?
So what I've done is the way I've looked at it, I've chosen the players that I've seen play, but at the highest part of their career.
Okay. Yeah. Well, remember, Mark. We're going position for position. I don't want you to reel your team off.
No. Position. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, the players that I've seen play, White Hart Lane or wherever I've seen them play, this is based on at their peak when I saw them.
Mm-hmm. That's the best thing to do, isn't it?
So obviously there was 2 goalkeepers for me, but I had to choose one. So I've gone for Ray Clemens.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah,
my backup goalkeeper on the bench is obviously Hugo Lloris, but Ray Clemens is I got to see Ray Clemens, and for me, as a goalkeeper, yeah, he was the cat, wasn't he? There was nobody that could play against him. For me, he was top draw.
See, I'm comparing your team, Mark, to my dad's. He's told me his team, and that's exactly the same goalkeeper, the exact same. But obviously,
listen, I know I don't look it, but I turned 50 this year, so you know.
So you've got better players than us. You try to say that? We know, Mark.
Absolutely. I told you we would win the quadruple with this team. Trust me.
Well, Kirst has given us her team as well. Obviously, her formation is a 4-2-3-1. But hopefully, like I say, she's on in time to tell us. But Alan, goalkeeper.
I think you're doing Aurelio Gomez a disservice, myself. No, so for me, it was one clear winner. The person who came second for me was Paul Robinson, but a distant second, it's Hugo Lloris for me. Simple as.
Yeah, Jacobs, that same for you?
Yeah, same with Alan. Yeah, like you said, I did used to like Paul Robinson until he had his little bit of to do with England and everything, but he was never going to be as good as Lloris. And even though Lloris has had his patchy seasons, every keeper does, don't they? Like the world's best always have him. So he's had his patch, but he's been solid this season. But yeah, Hugo for me, 100%.
Yeah, Lloris is the same for me. Obviously, bless you, Mark. Bless you, Mark.
Thank you.
I've picked Lloris. Obviously, like I say, shout out to Paul Robinson before the Croatia fumble, thanks to Gary Neville. I did used to like Brad Friedel as well. Obviously, he wasn't with us for long, but he was better than Gomez. He was better than
anyone was better than Gomez.
Yeah, so mine is Lloris. So, Jacob, I'm going to come to you first on this one. Who's your right back?
My right back, I don't know if everyone would agree with this. My right back, I think it's because he was one of my favourite players growing up as a Spurs fan when I first started, was Stephen Carr.
What?
Yep. I used to love Stephen Carr. You know, he scored a couple of good goals.
I love Stephen Carr.
You know, it was between him and Kyle Walker. I know Kyle Walker was great, but I've always been sceptical of Kyle Walker, even at Man City. I've always said to football fans, if Kyle Walker was slow, would he be as good as he is? I don't think he would. He'd get caught out a lot more if he was a slow runner. So, yeah, Stephen Carr, you know, he was the best of a bad bunch. That was a time where, you know, Stephen Carr was probably one of the better players, and we had some terrible players, to be quite fair. But yeah, it was between him and Kyle Walker, and I went with Stephen Carr because when I was younger, I used to be a defensive-minded player, and at the time when I supported Spurs, he was one of my favourite players at the time, funnily enough. So yeah, I've gone with Stephen Carr.
Yeah, I love that. Obviously, I'm just replying to Kirst. She can't make it on tonight. Obviously, as lads know why. That it will stay, obviously, with her why she can't come on. But she will be on next week, 100%. Even if I have to go to her house personally, set the camera up, get the microphone on, she will be on this show for the West Ham review next week. But
should we just all go to her house? Let's just all go.
Yeah, why not? Like I say, we got to get her on at some point. Mark needs the backup. Alan picks on Mark every week, so we need.
I think there's a case for you picking on Alan, mate.
Yeah.
Right.
This is bullying.
Fucking John Joe Shelby comment.
Right, Jacob is gone for that comment.
Power mad you are. You've got power mad, power crazy.
I want to drop the race card on you, mate.
We'll have less of that, gentlemen. I am in charge. It will just be me and Mark come next week if you two carry on.
Never.
But no, Jacob can stay because his right back choice. I used to love Stephen Carr. I used to until he left us for free to Newcastle. Oh God, he was unreal. But now, before I go to you, Alan, obviously Premier Hotspur TV has given me his team through comments.
Yeah.
He's gone for 4-4-2. He's gone for Eric the Viking in goal, Stephen Carr, Ledley King, Mabbott, Rose, Son, Modric, Gascoigne, Bale, Kane, and Sheringham.
Not bad.
That's a very good team. It is a very, very good team. Right, Kirsten's ports. What's Kirsten on about here? Streamers party at mine. I pick on Alan. Yeah, she does. She does pick on Alan, so it's fine.
Everyone picks on me. Jacob.
Alan, we'll leave you alone for 2 minutes, Alan. Who's your right back?
So my right back is Kyle Walker. So the only other right back I thought of was Stephen Carr. And yeah, he could hit the odd shot. But as a defender, for me, he wasn't that good. I don't recall many times. I remember getting caught out of position too much and stuff like that. That's why I didn't consider him. Walker, I agree with what Jacob says. If he didn't have that much speed, would he be as good? No, he has got the odd calamitous thing in him as well. I don't deny that. But there's not many other right backs we've been blessed with that have been of top quality, to be fair, especially in my lifetime. So,
Chimbonda.
Oh, hell no. No, Pamaro. No.
Oh, gosh.
No. So for me, it has to be Walker. No one came close.
So that's Walker for you, Mark. Now you've stopped typing, my friend.
Yeah, I had quite a few, but I've gone because I've gone very, very attacking in my field. So I needed somebody quick on the right to be able to run back because I've gone very attacking up front. So I've gone with Kyle Walker as well. I like Kyle Walker. I think he's been one of our best right backs, and he's been through a period where we were very strong. So with his speed and agility, he can go up front, he can attack, but he can also get back very quickly. So, yeah, he's very consistent. So we've had some great right backs that I've seen, but yeah, Kyle Walker for me.
Well, before I had Alan back in, Mark, was there anybody else you was considering for right back?
Yeah, there was a few, you know, Graham Roberts that I had.
I thought that's what you were going to say.
You know, hard as nails, but not as quick, not going up front. But yeah, like I say, the reason why I took Kyle Walker is because when you see the rest of my team, you'll see I'm one of the most attacked. If we had that team, I think there'd only be 2 people and the goalie in the back, and I'd have like 8 people in the other box. So I've gone very attacking.
Wait to Mark's team. He's going to
so,
left back. I had Jermaine Defoe.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about that. Or Gareth Bale.
Yeah, that's where he started. So
I know.
Can't really complain, can you? He didn't play too badly there.
Yeah.
Oh, he actually, mind you, he did have a horrible time. Remember, it got to the point where we thought he was a bad omen. So
yeah. But I've gone with the same one as you, Alan. I've gone with Kyle Walker.
Yeah, agreed. I think, well, yeah. So obviously, from back in the day, there's probably much better right backs than him. But in mine, he's definitely the best of our bunch in my life.
Yeah, and I've gone with it because I think he can go up and he can go back down. You know, Graham Roberts was a great defender. I just think he wasn't as versatile as Kyle Walker, and he's not as quick. And you know, the side that I've got, I need somebody to be able to go back as well. And I think he fits that mold. And I think if I look in the last 30 years that I've been watching Spurs, or 35 years, he's one of the most consistent, and he has been. He plays for England through and through and through. And listen, if he still with us was at Spurs, he'd be starting with Spurs. He wouldn't have got out of the team. So yeah, I still think, yeah, he's right for our side, or for my side especially.
I probably went with more sentiment with mine, because if you do look at it, Kyle Walker probably is a better right back than Stephen Carr. I think it's just because as I was growing up and I started thinking, yeah, I really love Tottenham, he was the right back, and he's never left my mind as being my favourite right back. But you know, in the grand scheme of things, Kyle Walker probably was the better one.
Yeah, I've gone with Jacob on this. My right back for this team is Stephen Carr. I used to love it, and I do think that Carr was a better defender than Walker. Walker looks so much better because he's got that much electric pace. No matter where he makes his mistake on that pitch, he will be the first defender back on his own 6-yard line because he's that quick. And he does look a lot better than he is. But obviously, Kirsty was doing the team with us. She has commented in. Obviously, she's gone for Hugo in goal, no brainer. Then Walker 16-17 for right back. So, Alan.
Yeah.
Give me a centre-back pairing. Who are your partners?
I'm interested to hear this one.
So this was an area I was stuck on for so long. And for me, Alderweireld and Vertonghen were obviously our best centre-back partnership. But there's no way I can't include Ledley King in this conversation. The man had one knee, didn't train, and then went out there and basically was the best defender on the pitch for both teams every week. He was just so gutted for him that he couldn't actually have have the longevity to his career and be able to hit the heights that he probably could have hit, but because of his injury problems. So King is in, and then I was basically deciding on whether it's Vertonghen or Alderweireld. And I plumped for Vertonghen over Alderweireld. Don't know if people will agree or disagree with that, but it was either or. So for me, I just thought Vertonghen had a bit more passion and desire and grit and determination than Alderweireld, and that's the only reason I've chosen him over Alderweireld. So Vertonghen and King.
Vertonghen and Ledley King. Now, before I go to Mark on this, mine was Ledley King, bless you, Mark. Ledley King and Jan Vertonghen. I prefer Vertonghen to Alderweireld. I do. I just think he was better. They was both similar pace wise. None of them were quick defenders. Alderweireld maybe had the better passing range out of the two, but I would trust Vertonghen as my centre back more than I would Alderweireld. So, Mark, Give us your centre-back pairing, please, sir.
So, yeah, look, we've had a couple of good ones there, haven't we? Yeah, I've got to agree. For me, Ledley King, he walks in it, you know. Can you just imagine that man with 2 healthy knees?
Wouldn't be a
That guy
Tottenham.
would have-
No, it would have been at Barcelona or Real Madrid.
No, he would have stayed. He was a Tottenham fan, but he would have played for England over 100 times if he had good knees.
Yeah.
That guy was the most. And you'll listen to managers during his time. Alex Ferguson will turn around. He said he's the most gifted defender that they've ever seen. So Ledley King's there. The next one was a toss-up, and I'm with you guys. You know, I looked at Toby because Ledley King always played on the left, didn't he? And I had a toss-up with Alderweireld, but then I thought of one that I had seen. Who, you know, we've got to look at the team. Have you chosen a skipper for your team as well?
Oh, Ledley King.
Okay.
Ledley, yeah, Ledley.
Well, for me, I went the other way. I looked at a skipper so I've gone with Gary Mabbott.
I knew he was going to say that.
I've teamed up Gary Mabbott and Ledley King, and I just think the two of them, oh my good God, together.
Yeah. I caught the back end of Mabbott's career, and he was good,
Did you?
but
Yeah.
he had lost a bit of what he had.
Yeah,
but
I got to see him, though. The first game I ever got to see him was 1981 when I was 11 years old. Oh my God. This guy was just, yeah. And it's not just his defect as a leader. You know, you look on the pitch sometimes and you just look at people, how they present themselves and how people respect them. If somebody's going to say something like you, and I know Højbjerg's not captain and he's nowhere near like Mabbott at the moment, but you know, when Højbjerg, when something happens and he claps his hand and he gets that animation, Mabbott doesn't have to do that. He would just have a look. He would go up to somebody, get somebody. He oozes that kind of class as a captain. Yeah. He's a man's man, if you know what I mean. And what I'm trying to say, he's got that respect. So for me, the two of them, absolutely. And it's a shame because I love Vertonghen and I love Alderweireld, you know, but you can only have 2 people. Those 2 would be on my bench, you know. But yeah, I'd go Gary Mabbott and Ledley King, and for me, Gary Mabbott would be my skipper.
If I was about 3 or 4 years older, then Mabbott would have been in my team because he was.
That's what.
But we just caught the end of it, so we couldn't quite put him in.
That's it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, Simon at the same. Mabbott was a legend and a top captain. That is, like I say, I was
captain to win something meaningful as well.
Yeah,
he won the FA Cup. So,
Jacob, give us your centre-back pairing.
Yes, obviously, like the boys said, Ledley King. Like Ledley King, I'll go as far as saying he's probably my favourite player since I've supported Spurs. You know, I used to love Ledley King. You know, there was times where he was injured and he'd be 3 games out, and you knew the North London derby was coming. And even though they had Omri and Bergkamp and all that, you should just pray Ledley was playing. As soon as Ledley played, you'd see him in the lineup, and you look at the rest of the team and you think it's not even that great. We're probably going to get spanked by Arsenal. But I used to have that hope with Ledley, and as soon as you found Ledley weren't playing, you just resigned to it, you know. So Ledley King without fail, and he'd be my skipper. And like the boys did, it was hard. You know, 1 minute I was like Vertonghen, next minute Alderweireld. But then when I put everything together, I've chosen Alderweireld because before the reign of Van Dijk being the best centre-half in the league, it was Alderweireld. So before Van Dijk came in and sorted it out, he was the best defender. You know, everybody was looking at Alderweireld being better than Vertonghen. Even I do love Vertonghen. He had more passion. He felt more. It felt that he was more of a Tottenham lad than Alderweireld. But Alderweireld was the best centre half for a good 2-3 years, and that was at the time where we challenged Leicester for the league. We challenged Chelsea for the league. We got to the Champions League final. You know, up until Van Dijk came in and sorted out Liverpool, he was the best centre half. So that's what swayed it. But that's not to say Vertonghen was second best, because that guy, in terms of, you know, for me, I think young Vertonghen should still be at Spurs. I think he's better than Eric Dyer now at 34. Yeah, I've seen him play a couple of games against Benfica. I'm like, why have we got rid of Vertonghen and we've got Sanchez and Dyer? Like, we should have had Vertonghen retire at our club, just like a few other players that we're probably going to mention in the lineup. But yeah, I don't disagree with Alan, because we're the same age. I don't disagree with him. Like, one minute I was thinking Vertonghen myself, but just because I thought Alderweireld was the best in the league at one stage of the time he was at Spurs, that's what swayed it for me.
Yeah, Kirst obviously has gone Toby and Super Jan.
God bless her. She doesn't know about Ledley, does she? Bless her.
No, she's gone as Danny Rose as left back. I mean, for my left back, I have gone for Danny Rose as well, but in my time as a Spurs fan, we've not really had that many. Obviously, I've seen Justin Edinburgh, Christian Ziegler. Don't get me started on Lee Young Pyo and all players.
Disco Benny.
Asuakato, what are you saying?
No.
Vibes Akato.
No. Let's say Asuri Kotar, Eric Edmond. That they're the players I've worked with, but I do. Danny Rose fit Danny Rose on that left hand side for us was unreal with Kyle Walker as the other side. So I've had to go for Danny Rose. Alan, who's your left back?
Oh, without question, Timothy Atuba. I'm only joking, guys. I'm only joking.
It's written down. Look,
Danny Rose. Danny Rose. Danny Rose. I'm allowed to joke on it. You're being mean to me. I'm allowed to joke.
Timothy Atuba. Oh gosh, man, we've had it bad, haven't we?
Yeah, we have had it bad. No, without question, in our lifetime, there's only one. It's Danny Rose. No one comes close. It's as simple as.
Yeah.
How rude.
Yeah, she ain't got no. She's not talking about you, Alan. I promise. She's not.
Yeah. No, the team she's picking. I get it.
Right, Jacob. I'm going to go to you because I presume yours is the same as mine and Alan's and Kirst's.
Yeah, mine's definitely Danny Rose. You know, it's a shame. Is it another player just like Vertonghen? These are players that should have been retiring at Spurs. You know, I don't understand the logic. If a player's still good enough at 30, keep them. You know, I'm not saying it broke my heart, but it was sad to see him play for Watford the other day because he looked a bit overweight. He looked a bit lost, and you're thinking if Tottenham had treated him properly, given him the contract that he plainly deserved, and we kept Pochettino, he was mustard. So it's definitely him. If I went in sentiment, I did used to like Justin Edinburgh as well. It's all that little team that I watched growing up, but there's no way he's better than Danny Rose. You know, Danny Rose was everything that you wanted in left back. He had fight, he could cross. He was, you know, everybody never used to see him as a leader, but he was. You know, he's Pochettino's favourite player as well, admittedly from the squad. So, yeah, without fail, Danny Rose all day.
Yeah, very quickly, Jacob. Do you agree with Kirsty? The obviously Amazon documentary. All or Nothing Spurs. Do you think that did Rose dirty? Do you think that shed a light on him that not many people believed in anyway?
This is the thing. So it's like in life, I always believe that if you ask somebody, what don't you like? They'll say, oh, I don't like being lied to. But then when someone comes out and tells you the truth, you don't like it. So it's like, I don't understand it. Danny Rose told the truth in the documentary and also told the truth to the newspapers. You know, he went to the newspapers famously telling them that, you know, there's players there that are unhappy, there's players that should be rewarded and they're not being rewarded like other teams in the squad, you know, and this was shortly after Walker left and all Tottenham fans didn't like it. I'm like, Tottenham are lucky that I wasn't a professional footballer playing for them because I would have done the same thing as Danny Rose, just simply saying it as it is. So it did him dirty, but that's just a sign of Tottenham. You know, if someone comes out and tells the truth and instead of going, you know what, Danny's got a good point there, you sell him down the street, let him train with the under-23s. We're talking about the best left back we've had for the last sort of 30 years. And because he told the truth, he didn't get a pay rise, and effectively his career went down the bin. So it did him dirty, but in my eyes, he went down as a hero for me, mate.
Yeah, so you're agreeing with Kirst then, Jacob. That's what she wants. You agree with Kirst, yeah?
Yeah, I'm agreeing. Yeah, he did him dirty, but he shouldn't have. That's what I was trying to say.
I tell you what, boys, all four of us have probably got random gifts in the WhatsApp group as we speak. I see one of Alan already. There is a new one of Alan.
There's a new one of me. For God's sake, who invited you, Kirst?
But Mark, talk to us. Obviously, you've seen many more left backs on maybe not as good a level as Timothy Atubu, but you might have seen more. So who are you going for?
Do you know what? I think this is going to be a clean sweep. I'm going to go with Danny Rose as well. I think he, in his pump, I think he was one of our best. You know, remember, was it Himinsu or Siminpu or whatever? What was his name? The other South
Be careful what you say, Mark. That could be taken.
Yeah, trust me, mate.
Yeah, so
you get axed off the show, mate.
yeah, Danny Rose for me was what epitomizes the left back. You know, we could have even gone if I wanted to keep Vertonghen in, he could have played left back. But no, I think Danny Rose, and you know, just going back on what Jacob said, you know, it's like anything in life. Sometimes, you know, you can stand up and talk about things that you want to, but sometimes you just got to keep your mouth shut at times. You know, now I like Danny Rose, but I think he led to some of his own downfall. As great a player as he was, you know, and as you get older, you'll learn more and more about this, and especially in business. Sometimes you just got to know when to say something and when not to say something. And the one thing you can never do to a multi-billion-pound business is embarrass them, because you're one person in a small pond, and you got to in a big pond, and you got to be very careful. And that's what he did. And listen, I also think what he said was true. However, it wasn't the right time and right place. One of the funny things he said, wasn't it, that we keep on bringing in players that he had to look up on Google to see who they were. You know, and that made me chuckle. And he's right in what he's saying. But what you can't do is you can't embarrass people that are worth billions, because they'll just cast you aside, whether we like it or not. And you've got to be very careful. So, as great a player as he was, and you're right, when we see him against Watford, it's a shame to see what he's doing. He's put on a bit of tonnage and everything, but in his pump, the guy was he was amazing. And he played for England every game. You know, back in the day when Poch was there, didn't we have 5 or 6 players playing for England?
That's what I said earlier. Yeah.
I've never seen so many people playing for England from a Tottenham team at one go. So although he was a great player and he's in my all-time, I think he led to his own downfall, and just his the way he spoke to his peers. You know, there was no empathy. It was kind of, you know, and in the documentary, was he thrown under the bus? Maybe, but we only saw bits. We don't know the editing. But on the same hand, you saw the way he spoke to Mourinho and everything. And, you know, this is arguably one of the greatest managers on the planet. You know, maybe we didn't see the right thing, and maybe it looked worse than it was because they decided to cut out the "Hi, Jose, give me a hug" and all that kind of thing. And it looked worse than what it was. But I don't think he helped himself. And that's just me, you know, surmising how it went down. And look what happened to him, you know, because he's still a great footballer, but he's just gone down and down and down and down, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, before we go on, if anybody took offence to Mark trying to pronounce Lee Young Pugh, it is just Mark trying to pronounce a player. I apologise if you took offence, but it is just Mark trying to remember the player. It's nothing malice, nothing like that.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I'm just trying to remember the formations now. Alan, your formation was what? I need it nailed on, Alan.
Nailed on. Okay, so
Nailed
I'll say 4-1-4-1.
Jacob, what was yours?
4-2-3-1.
And Mark, what was yours, mate? Oh, is he on mute? He's not unmuted.
4-3-1-2.
4-3-1-2, and Kirsty's gone 4-2-3-1. So now let me go to. Let me see. Hold on. Keep thinking around. There's a Newcastle fan top. What's wrong with you, Kirst? Come on. You're trying to get yourself kicked off the show before you even come on. Stop playing around with us.
That's what it is, Curse. He's following the oil money. That's what he's doing.
Hey, you've called me Harry Kane, Alan. I'm going to do what he's doing. I'm following the money. I'm going to go wherever Harry Kane goes. Right. Obviously, Kirst is not concentrating on what we're talking about. She's asking if Mark has got a Kinder Bueno. Mark, thumbs up. Is it a Kinder Bueno?
If you want, mate, if you want.
What's that?
Kirst wants to know if you're eating a Kinder Bueno.
No, I've got this South African chocolate called Top Deck.
Well, that's like dairy milk to me.
Best chocolate on the planet.
Trying to claim it.
Not South African.
This one is chocolate pouch.
Right, Alan,
Yes.
Give me your defensive midfielder. Who is dominating in that midfield? Who is giving your centre-back pairing of King and Vertonghen an easier life?
It was between two, and they're not really defensive midfielders like get stuck in, but they can control play. And so if I had to go between the two, this is why I plumped for Dembele over Modric. He didn't make the team, and it was one of them where I was, look at the Jacob raising the eyes. I can see
Good
that.
Lord.
It was between, and you'll see why later on, because I've gone quite attacking in my front line, my front five. But I had to go for Dembele because he's more powerful. He can transition play. You couldn't get the ball off of him. So that was, for me, that's the reason why I put him over Modric. But I felt, as soon as I took him out of the team, I felt so dirty getting Modric out of that team because he's been one of our best players and what he's gone on to do at Real Madrid. But I had to make a decision. I said it was difficult.
No, that's fine, Alan. Obviously, Kirsta's gone for her two central midfielders of Moussa Dembele and her one true love, her man.
She really is young, isn't she?
The man she loves in Pierre-Emile
P-E-H.
Because Le Pierre. Sorry. That's what you get.
Right. I will give you the man sitting further back from me, and that man is Moussa Dembele. The man, we talk about Ndombele now, but Moussa Dembele on the ball was it was breathtaking. Nobody could move him. He didn't look a big man. He didn't look like he didn't look like the size of Victor Wanyama. Obviously, when you watch Wanyama, he was a big, bulky man who you knew could move players off the ball. But Dembele, as soon as Dembele got on that ball, he was unreal. But I have gone with him. Mark, you've gone for a 4-3-1-2 now. To begin with, give me the man who you would rather sit back, who you would marshal the defence.
Yeah, so I came down with two, and this is where, because I've got such a strong attacking, I had to choose one of two, and I'm still caught. One is recent, which is current, who I think is a great and is going to be a great holding midfielder in Højbjerg, and the other one, and this I can't choose. And you guys, you know him. He's one of our most famous people, and as hard as they come, Stevie Perryman. So I'm for me, I'm still torn. I can only choose one of them, and I don't know which one to choose. I love Højbjerg. I think he's our future captain, but Stevie Perryman. If there's any name that's a Tottenham name, and that's that man. So I'm caught, and he was hard as nails as well. And I only caught the back end because he retired in 1986, didn't he? So I got to see him for a few years. So
that was Mark's favourite on the panel. Good. Right, she's bored. Get her off.
Leave her. She's great. Leave her. So, you know what? I'm going to be nostalgic, and I'm going to go with Stevie Perryman.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Simon agrees with you there, Mark. I'd say I wasn't lucky enough to see Perryman, but my dad's got him in his team.
Yeah.
Yeah, What was he like then, Mark? How was he to watch as a Tottenham fan?
Just, like a Højbjerg, but when Højbjerg in 5 years' time, when he's going to be at his pomp, people would run into him and bounce off into the stands as hard as nails. Somebody you wouldn't want to meet in a back alley. But the nicest man you would most probably ever meet, but hard. And people knew when they went, like, like Graham Souness went in for a tackle, you knew you were being tackled. That's the kind of player, I think. But remember, Souness
has turned into a dick. Unless your name's Paul Pogba, he's not interested.
But back in the day, it was a man's sport. This wasn't it. You could tackle. This year, I think we the referees have been a lot more lenient. They've let certain things go. But back in the day, when a tackle went in, you could almost break your leg, and you still would only not even get a yellow card. But I think people like that would maybe struggle now in the game because it's not as rough and tumble. You know, you got away with a lot more then. So I don't know if people like Stevie Perryman would struggle in today's game. I know they would adapt, but I think, you know, these guys, they didn't train 7 days a week, 3 times in a day and things like that. So the game's moved on so much, hasn't it? But yeah, I'll stick with Stevie Perryman. Just a good all-round defensive midfielder.
Yeah, Jacob, same as Kirst. You've gone for the exact same formation as Kirst. So give me your 2 men in that midfield.
I've gone for Modric and Dembele. Nice and simple, you know. Modric was, well, he was sick, but Dembele. But for me, Dembele was the best. It's only Ledley King that tops Dembele for me. Like Dembele was such a sick player, man. Like he's so underrated. It's like if he, as much as I loved he played for Tottenham, if he was at any other team, everyone would be talking about him a lot more. You know, I was having a conversation with the guys I play 5-a-side with, and we were talking about, you know, midfielders. So everybody was saying, you know, Modric, Scholes, Keane, Gerrard, all that mould. And then when I said Dembele, everybody was just like, it's like I snapped my finger, and everyone was like, wow, I forgot about him. And we ended up having a good 15-20 minute conversation about Dembele, but it's like none of them even had them in his mind, because obviously he played for Spurs and he goes under the radar. So yeah. Unfortunately, unlike Alan, it favours my formation, and I had Modric and Dembele.
You're on mute, Ryan.
Thank you, Alan.
You're welcome.
That's why you're the kindest member of my panel, Alan. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's changes it.
Nah, obviously everyone's gone for a different formation. So now let me just mute. Jacob is muted. Alan is muted. No offense, boys, on this one. The formations. Wait, hold on. I've messed up there. It's just Alan that needs muting. It's Jacob who can come back in. Alan, take no offense. I promise. There is no offense to this at all. But my other 2 midfielders, I've gone for a 4-3-3. So my other 2 were Luka Modric and Rafael van der Vaart. So that's my midfield 3 of Dembele, Modric, and van der Vaart. Kirst, send yours over the comments. But Jacob, you have gone for a 4-2-3-1. So you need muting, Jacob. What is going on with my head tonight? Jacob, you're muted. It's Mark who I need. Mark, give me your other 2 centre midfielders.
Okay, so obviously my holding, I went with Perryman, didn't I? So I go very attacking and very skillful. So I'm with you guys. I love Dembele, don't get me wrong, and he was amazing. But I actually got to see this man play, and if you guys ever got to see him, I think you would follow me. But right in the center, I'd take Ozzy Ardiles. This man was just, I'm sorry, but you think Dembele can drop his shoulder on Dembele and all that, but Ozzy Ardiles was just on a different level. And I know you say, well, we didn't really win much when but he speak to anybody from that generation, and you know I was still a kid then when he played, but yeah, so I'm going with Ozzy Ardiles, and then I was caught on this one, my third person, and this is where I'm not really going very defensive. So I looked at Luka Modric because I thought he was great, but then I remembered my idol growing up, Glenn Hoddle. You know, so my midfield would be Højbjerg, Ardiles, and Glenn Hoddle.
Can I ask you, Mark, are you leaving Gascoigne out for Ardiles?
Hold on. Don't even go there yet. I haven't given you my team yet, so don't even go there yet.
I apologize, Mark. I'm terribly sorry.
Wait till you see my side. You're going to see that the top 6 are going to be like, oh my God, there's goals in this game.
The top 6 are going to get you banned from the channel for outdoing our teams easily. But let me bring the boys back in. Jacob is back in. Alan, you're back in now. Obviously, you heard Mark's two men with Perryman, which are Ozzy Ardiles and Glenn Hoddle, which is hard to top. It is very hard to top. Obviously, mine was Luka Modric and Van der Vaart. So let me go to you, Alan. Obviously, you went 4-1-4-1. Who is the man on the right-hand side for you?
So on the right hand side of my midfield.
Yep.
So this is a very attacking 4-1-4-1. So on the right, cutting in with his wand of a left foot has to be Gareth Bale. That's where I put him. He, don't need to say anything. Even when he came back to us, people were like, "Oh, he had a poor season." To be fair, the goals he got and all that, he had an engine on him, wand of the left foot, could take it past anyone, tricks, skills, one of the best. Went on to do even better at Real Madrid. Just one of the best players in our generation, Gareth Bale. No questions asked.
Jacob, well, before I go to Jacob, let me just put Kirst's down. She is finally in agreement with Alan. She has gone for Bale, like she has literally just his second commented. Bale was unreal, still a cracking player. Obviously, I don't know his golf handicap now, Kirst, so I can't tell you if he's a good player or not. But I do apologise. Jacob, who is the man operating on your right? Obviously, you yourself have had Modric and Dembele as your two. So now going out to the right wing, right midfield, right wing, whichever way you want to play it. Who's out there for you?
Yeah, it's the same with me, Gareth Bale. I know he predominantly played on the left-hand side for Spurs, but we all know that. No matter where. Oh, it's a bit harsh. You need to blend her, man. She needs to know her manners, mate.
She'll be blocked. She'll be blocked from. If she wasn't the main commenter on this page, she would be blocked. But I'll leave her there just for this show, so she's fine.
If you're gonna have a go at Mark, you need to say, guys, if anybody's been offended by Kirsty's comment, you know what I mean?
It's a predictive text. I apologize, Kirsty. Yeah, it's the predictive text.
Mine's Gareth Bale. There's no need to really talk too much about him. I know he predominantly played on the left, like I said, but the way he played for us towards the latter stages of his career at Spurs, he literally played everywhere, didn't he? He was our main man under AVB. He was scoring all the goals, playing, down the middle, off the right. He was just everywhere. So, yep, Gareth Bale gets that slot. That's all that needs to be said, really. I think everybody can agree in here. There's not really much to talk about when it comes to Gareth Bale. We all know how sick he was. So,
well, you say that, but he's not made my team. But other than that, I'm going to keep on. Yeah, Alan, relax. What's wrong with you, Alan? Calm down.
You haven't put Gareth Bale in your team? What?
I haven't put Gareth Bale in my team, no. But I'm going to keep, obviously, on with Jacob on the next one. Obviously, the man, the CAM, the cam of the side. Obviously, Kirsty has chosen Christian Eriksen as hers. So, Jacob, tell me who is your number 10 in this side.
Same with me, Christian Eriksen. The guy never got injured, always got the team ticking, and for Spurs fans towards the end of his career cuss him out because he wasn't taking corners properly was absolutely shambolic. We never seemed right when he got took out of the team, but that was a rarity because Pochettino always played him. It's not like he ever got dropped because when we was under Pochettino, we was always in a serious game. He was always either playing Champions League or Premier League, FA Cup, and then the only times he really got dropped was the League Cup, which Pochettino never took serious. So, yeah, Eriksen all day. He was best creative midfielder I think I've seen. Obviously Spurs historically have had some greater ones like Glenn Hoddle and all that, but I wasn't there to see him. So, from what I hear of Glenn Hoddle and all these guys, he's probably, when my son grows up, if he was ever to be a Spurs fan, that's the player that I'll be talking about in terms of creativity and getting the team ticking.
Well, you gentlemen, myself included, picking the new boys have obviously enhanced Kirst's ego somewhat. So she's happy that we've picked. So I think it was a Mark argument between Perryman and Højbjerg. That's when we had her. And then when Mark picked Perryman, he lost her. As soon as he picked Perryman over Højbjerg, he lost her. But obviously, Simon in the comments again, he's obviously said that Gascoigne is an unreal player. I didn't watch him. I presume Jacob and Alan were a bit too late to watch him, but Mark,
Just a bit, yeah.
I can see Mark is ready to pounce on Paul Gascoigne, but Jacobs is in. Alan.
Just a quick one on Gascoigne. Like, strangely, I never really saw much of Gascoigne because, like what Alan alluded to about Gary Mabbott, seeing him towards the end, I saw Gary Mabbott and Gascoigne, but I was like 6 years old. So the reason why I supported Tottenham is because my uncles and, you know, even though they supported different clubs, they always used to go on about Gascoigne. So I used to find myself watching Tottenham. So Gascoigne is very influential as to the reason why I support Tottenham. But once I started understanding football for what it is, I think Gazza was probably at Rangers or something, or at Lazio. So that's why I couldn't put him in my team.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But Alan, I need your two midfielders. Now, obviously, you've gone for a 4-1-4-1. So who is playing in front of Moussa Dembele for you?
So it can only be two of our, probably in my lifetime, the best creative and attacking players we had, Van der Vaart and Christian Eriksen. Van der Vaart for me was just like wonder the left foot. He could pick a pass out of nowhere. Christian Eriksen, in since I've been watching it for Spurs, our top assist, I believe. Like Jacob said, the way he got done dirty at the end of his Spurs career and all that, he weren't putting in the effort this any other. But if you look at his stats from when he started to that, his goal and assist contributions over the 5-6 seasons were consistently the same total. So he always put in the numbers. So for me, he's the best in our time. And Van der Vaart, especially pairing with Bale, that was a great duo for us as well. So that's why I've got them both in the team as well.
Yeah, obviously, Kirst is acknowledging, obviously, she's got a signed Gaza shirt in the living room. She wasn't from his time. In fact, she said I wasn't even a cell. They've seen a lot of him growing up, catch-up shows, etc. Legend. So now, obviously, we're moving on. What we've got here, Alan's left mid. Yeah, that's I've given my 3. So what we need now, Mark, I want you. Give me your number 10. You've gone for a 4-3-1-2. So who is playing just in advance of Ozzy Ardiles and Glenn Hoddle?
My main man, the man himself, the enigma, the legend, the guy that could hit a 10p coin from about 150,000 miles away.
Jermaine Genius.
Paul Gascoigne.
Jermaine Genius.
Yeah.
More like Darren Anderson.
Yeah, for me, Gascoigne just sits behind them, just in front of Ardiles and Glenn Hoddle, and the three of them, they run it. With Perryman just behind them, and when you see my two people up front, it's goals galore. Paul Gascoigne for me all day, every day. There's just no question about it. I love Eriksen, don't get me wrong. I love Sheringham and all that, but Gascoigne just on his day. And speak to managers from the last 30 years ago, Bobby Robson, the late Bobby Robson, Alex Ferguson, and if there was a Gascoigne with his skill around right now, I think the closest you get is maybe somebody like a Kevin De Bruyne on his day, but even not as good as Gascoigne, I don't think. So that for me tells me how good Gascoigne was.
Well, I don't know how the three of us and Kirst are going to go on against Gascoigne, Ardiles, and Hoddle.
Yeah,
midfield, but
we win in the quadruple, pal, and then we're going to the World Club Championships.
Tottenham going to win the World Cup.
Absolutely. Listen, when I was going through this, and I looked at how young you guys were, I was like, Jesus, this is a no-brainer.
Well, obviously, now we've done with the centre midfielders. Obviously, I'm going to ask each of you about players that haven't made it, but I'll go to Alan first. Did you consider Michael Carrick, or did he just not play for us long enough?
Yep. So for midfielders that I had on my close to list was Modric, Carrick, Davids. because he came a bit too late, David. So that's the reason why. But he was still a classy footballer. There's another name I wanted to mention, but that's more of a left wing. That's more left midfield. But I'll mention that anyway. Genoa as well. I thought about David Ginola. David Ginola. The way he ran with that ball, what he could do and go past people, was just great to watch. But I don't think he was there for long enough to be able to push into the team. And obviously, there's somebody else that's better than him in that position as well. So. Yeah, there's quite a few that I could have had, but yeah,
Jacob.
I didn't get carried forward.
I was going to ask you about Edgar Davids, obviously the glasses wearing man, the goggles wearing man for Spurs. Are you the same as Alan? Obviously, he had a great career at Juventus and in Italy, but did he just come to us a bit too late for you to think, oh God, what a midfielder?
Yeah, like even though I was younger then, he still when Edgar Davids come to Tottenham, I remember not being that excited. I was thinking, well, we've got him when he's retiring. If he'd come to us when we was at Juventus, I think he was at Inter Milan, and when he was smashing it for the Netherlands, I'd have been doing cartwheels. When he was doing all the Nike adverts, that was the Edgar Davids that you wanted. But when he came, like you said, it was too late. He still did all right, to be fair, under Martin Jol. It was not like I'm saying he was crap, but it was just. I think how old was he when he came to us? It just felt we didn't feel that we were getting the best. It just felt that it was still good to have Edgar Davids.
When early to mid 30s, like 32.
Yeah, it feels like he was 33. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. And these are the days where 32, 33 was when people were hanging up their boots. Nowadays you're looking at people like Ronaldo, James Milner, 36, 37, still smashing it like they were, but. Yeah, it was too little, too late. If we got him 3-4 years earlier, it definitely would have been on my shirt because he was one of my favourite players at the time. But such is life.
Well, Mark, was there any old school centre midfielders, any players that you'd seen from the 80s, 90s that nearly made the team? Was there anyone who came to mind?
Yeah, when you look at like Darren Anderton and people like that, we had Nicky Barmby, we had all we forget some of those players. But, the ones that I had to choose, obviously I went with Idealist, but, Dembele for me was another player. So that was hard to choose. And then Luka Modric or Glenn Hoddle. So, it's a tough choice. And Højbjerg or Stevie Perryman. So, when you look at those six together, can you imagine I choose three of them and I put three of them on the bench? Wow. How strong is that? So yeah, the list goes on. So for me, we had some great talent through the last 35 years. It is a wonder at any given stage we haven't won more when you look at some of these names we've been reeling off.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously I've got my 3-man midfield. Obviously Mark has now got his midfield. Curtis has gone for Heung-min Son on her left. Alan, before I go to you, Alan, obviously Premier Hotspur TV, I'm saying have to go, guys, work tomorrow, great show, keep it up, thank you very much. So that is somebody who I will be getting on one Friday to kick off and moan about Spurs. Everyone who comes on the show will at some point do an, as I like to call now, an Alan. But anyway, I'll go to the man himself. Alan, who is your left midfielder, left winger, however you want to play it?
So left winger could only be Son. There's like I said, Genoa was the only other person I gave a full to, but Son is just his assists, his goals, like the type of goals he scores, his relationship with Harry Kane up front. I think it's made him a better player than what he was when he first come to us. Yeah, he's just an incredible player. And there's debate amongst people whether he's actually world class or not. I think he is, but I think he is. People will say no, who aren't Spurs fans will say no. But if you gave him the chance to take him in their team, I think most of the other top 6 teams would take him in a heartbeat. So for me, Son is on my list all day long.
Now, I personally think he is the best left wing forward in the Premier League. I think he's better than Mane. I think he's better than Sterling. Obviously, Curse has just reminded me, obviously, of a dangerous alliance forming between herself and Alan, agreeing so much.
Well, stop making gifts of me, and then we can coexist a bit better.
So that is Alan's left side of midfield. Jacob, who is yours?
You're on mute.
Oh, hold on, let me sort that out for you.
Oh.
Go on then, Jacob. My apologies. Go for
I'll
it.
start again. So, yeah, he's got to be Son, but Ginola was close because I used to love him. Again, he was more sentiment with Ginola, and we didn't have the greatest team, but he was, he was another reason why, when we all talk about the Tottenham way, these are the sort of players that, even though we've been shoddy at times, we've had players like that would make sure that Tottenham maintains their standard of attacking football. So Ginola was close. Gareth Bale naturally would have been on that side, but because we haven't really had any good right wingers, the only person I could think of was Darren Anderton and Lennon, who I don't think were good enough to get in there. So, yeah, Son on the left for me, and I agree with you all. Like, I think 2-3 seasons ago, Mane was the best left wing forward in the league, but I'm not saying he's a worse player. He's just not scoring as many goals. It's Liverpool aren't relying on him as much anymore. So I'd go as far as saying Son currently is the best in that position.
Yeah, well, now I can give you my right wing forward and left wing forward. So my right wing forward is Son. My left wing forward is David Ginola. He's when I watched this, I remember watching this again in a game against Middlesbrough, and I just thought, that guy is unreal. Like he's got the confidence, he's got the looks of a footballer. He can move the ball on. Honestly, yeah, is here. If he was around in today's football, Joe Hart wouldn't stand a chance in those shampoo commercials. Not a chance with Genoa involved. Not even close. So, like I say, Son took the right wing over Gareth Bale. I loved Bale. I did love Bale. But again, he was the same as other players in my side. The way he left us, I just didn't like it. Obviously, when he first left us to Madrid, and he didn't train, he didn't play in the first couple of games and all that lot. I just did not want him in there. So I did pick Son.
What, Harry Kane?
Yeah, but he has played. He has kept playing for us, Jacob. So it's hard.
Yeah, that's,
and like I said to you before we came on, like, who do you want me to pick? Canute? I'll pick Asimovic up front if you want me to pick him.
Yeah, but the difference between Gareth Bale and Harry Kane is Bale got the move. That's the only difference.
The reason why Kane's carried on playing is because Daniel Levy, before every game, unleashes the shackles so he can go out and play, and then fucking puts him back in the shackles as soon as he comes back on the pitch.
Puts him back in his box.
Yeah, but that's a reason why I would pick Kane over Bale, because Levy's actually shown a set of balls and actually said to him, "You're not leaving. You are not leaving my club." Whereas with Bale as well, we've got this special relationship with Real Madrid. What relationship have we got with Real Madrid?
Remember that,
yeah.
What did we get? I think it was one pre-season friend there. That was a special relationship.
One pre-season friendly and Regulon.
Well, let's look at it in hindsight and long term. The special relationship is that we got invited into the Super League. That's what it is.
That is it. Yeah.
That is it.
I'll give you that. Yeah. So that is mine. So obviously, I'll go to it now. My front man is Harry Kane. Obviously, I think as good as Harry Kane is, this position was Kane, Robbie Keane, Berbatov, Jermaine Defoe. I didn't catch Jurgen Klinsmann. I love Teddy Sheringham. I love Les Ferdinand. We've had
Crouchy.
a lot. Yeah, Peter Crouch. Yeah, we've had so many.
Helder Postiga.
Yes, the Portuguese.
And of course, Roberto Soldado.
Yes. Do not forget. I tell you what, actually, you know what? You've given me something now. So I will announce it. I'll announce it at the end of the show, but don't worry. Next week will be fun. But mine is Harry Kane. So, Alan, who is your main man.
So my main man, and I'll be honest with this took me a long time to decipher because at the list of names we've said, there was one person that came close to Harry Kane for me. Not the reason why Harry Kane's got it is because he's all right, Kirst. We can't all go back to the golden years like he can. So yeah, Harry Kane, Tottenham through and through. Obviously, wants to weigh that, but the goals he scored on that. But for me, the striker that pushed him all the way, and I'm not even joking, it was very close. I just thought Berbatov was an amazing player. The skill, he even went better when he went to Man United, which peed me off even more. But the things he could do with the ball, like the finishing. I remember watching a game against Bolton. The ball got pinged to him for like 50, 60 yards diagonal ball, and he's taken a touch, kept it up in the air with one touch, and then flicked over the player's head and run on. And he didn't score, but it was stuff like that. I was like, I hadn't seen from a Tottenham player of that quality before. And I was just like, he's phenomenal. So he came so close to going in ahead of Harry Kane. But just because of the sheer goals that he scored for us so far, and he's adapted his play and got better, it's got to be Harry Kane.
Yeah, you've gone for Harry Kane as well. Kirst has also gone for Harry Kane, which, like I say, Kirst's choice were Kane, Troy Parrott, and Dane Scarlett, so she's gone for Harry Kane.
Wise choice.
Jacob, who is your main goal scorer, your number one man?
I've gone for Stefan Everson.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
I thought he was going to go for Chris Armstrong for a minute there.
The Norwegian hero. Nah, it's Harry. The thing is, though, Harry Kane, it's obvious, isn't it? But I ain't going to lie, it wasn't the easiest decision because, like, Defoe, I love Defoe, man. Like, he's even though Harry Kane's scored more goals, he was like a proper finisher, Defoe, man. Like, he was always side netting. And I'll never forget when he moved back to Tottenham on my birthday. So that made me feel a lot better. He came in for a January transfer window and moved on my birthday. And I remember seeing him because I used to live near the Villa ground. So we went to watch Villa Portsmouth. Oh no, Villa were playing Portsmouth, and me and my cousin went to go and get signatures. And I remember seeing Defoe went there with a Tottenham shirt and asked him to sign it, even though he played for Portsmouth. And I got chatting to him saying, "I'll beg you come back to Spurs." And then, funnily enough, he came back on my birthday, so it was meant to be. But in the grand scheme of things, Harry Kane's got to be the best, isn't he? Like, I think with Defoe, because you're looking back on what he done.
You're on mute, Ryan.
All right. Sorry, Jacob. Sorry. Did Alan just say, "Aw"?
Yeah. He wanted to give me a cuddle then, didn't he? Yeah. It was nice. I remember it.
Please go on, Jacob. Hey, leave that.
I got a cuddle from Alan, and I got to look up to Mark. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Leave this for the Christmas drinks that we meet up for, boys. Don't do it too early.
But yeah, it's Harry Kane all day. The guy is. I think when you look, I think the difference is that with Defoe, you've been able to look back on his career, and there's moments in his career where you've looked at and think, what a player. Whereas Harry Kane was still going through the motions with him. So I'm sure in 10 years' time, if we look back at Defoe and look at Harry Kane, it's going to be too easy to distinguish who's better out of the two of them. But realistically, it is Harry Kane. His goal record speaks for itself. I just hope that this little patch that he's gone through with not getting the move to Man City, he doesn't tarnish it. And as much as it did piss me off that he wanted to leave, you just hope that if he does stay with us for the rest of his career, just keep scoring loads of goals. So,
yeah.
Another person to mention was Teddy Sheringham as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love Teddy.
Teddy Sheringham was mustard, mate.
Sheringham was unreal. But the man I want to go to now is Mark. Obviously, Mark.
Jimmy Greaves.
Look at his face. Look, Mark he's obviously seen Harry Kane and Teddy Sheringham and Jurgen Klinsmann.
Drum roll, please.
Lineker. Mark.
Ryan, can I just say this was a stupid idea of yours? Because how can we compete with Mark?
You haven't been competing with Mark, Alan, since we started this show. So do not try and start now.
We were we're 10 years just before. I can't choose Jimmy Greaves. I was born that year, but yeah, we were. You're very close. Just imagine if I could have Jimmy Greaves. Wow. So I've got two up front, haven't I?
Yep.
So obviously my first choice is Harry Kane. I'm going to, all day long. He's just, and I'm like you. I haven't put Bale in my side. He's on my reserves. I'll be honest with you, which is very hard to do. But I've gone left field here, and I've gone. I would love to see them play together. I've gone with Jurgen Klinsmann and Harry Kane up front together. My God,
yeah.
So Harry Kane, well, top goal scorer, and Jurgen Klinsmann. I think the two of them up top there, with Gascoigne behind them, a little bit of Idelis and Glenn Hoddle. Yeah, I'll take some of that. We've won the
quadruple. Oh, I bet you would. I bet you'd take a bit of that.
Not only has he already beat us, he had to name drop him again. It's a bit harsh.
Well, did nobody consider Freddie Canute, Mido? Did nobody consider players like this?
Canute and Mido were on my list of. So my list of people that almost made it into my team were Canute, Mido, Sheringham, Ginola, Defoe, Berbatov, Keane, Modric, Toby Alderweireld, Carrick, Canute, Davids, and Mabbutt. So quality players all the way through, but just not good enough for the team.
That's fair enough. I mean, gentlemen, what I was talking about earlier, obviously for next Friday's show, at the start of the show, of course, we will be discussing the West Ham game. We will be discussing the Carabao Cup game against Burnley. And we will be discussing the Manchester United preview. But also, I'm going to give you Free and Cursed another week to decide your personal worst Tottenham 11.
So good.
I knew that was coming.
Your worst Tottenham 11 for all the players you can think of, for all the Heredio Gomez's, the Timotei Tubus, the Noe Pamaros, players like that. You have got your choice. But I hope Curse is still in the comments. We've still got viewers, so everyone who's viewing.
I think that's actually going to be hard for Kirsty. Think about the players. Them players you just mentioned. Kirsty don't even know who they are.
Yes, so she'll pick
Matt Doherty.
She'll pick Doherty and Davis and Winks and Dele.
Yeah. Basically, she's going to pick the lineup from Thursday.
So everybody who's still watching, thank you for being here. Thank you for being in the comments. Please subscribe to the First 11 channel. Obviously, I think Latimer's Prime is already on third watch as we speak. So he has, bless you, Mark. So he has taken the viewers that we would have had already on his fraud watch. Obviously, that is a perfect position for Prime to be on fraud watch. The fraud that he is, he deserves that position. So we'll leave him at that. Obviously, now, before Curse, obviously, is cursing again in the comments, which is fine. Yes. Yes, he is cursed, yeah. Mark, give me, obviously, everyone who's watched before knows that there's a competition going on.
Yeah.
So, right now, I told you what, good shout, Curse. Bless you, Mark. Very, very, very much. Bless you, Mark. So, right now, obviously, we're only one game in. So, all of us who are in it know the rules. Jacob, Mark, Alan, and Kirsten are on 1 point. Myself and Jacob are giving them a head start before we get involved. We're on 0 points. But Mark, please give me your prediction, your score prediction for the West Ham game.
Hold on. God, I'm sneezing.
The Nito's kicking in.
Excuse me. In my head, I'm saying 3-0. I've got something there, 3-0. But I think I'm going to go 3-1 to Tottenham. Yeah, 3-1 Tottenham.
We haven't even got past Halloween and Rudolph's already made an appearance.
Yeah, wow. Oh, this has just come on today.
The cheap jokes are the best. I'm sorry, Mike.
Listen, don't be sore because I picked a great team tonight.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes,
I'm going to go 3-1 Tottenham.
3-1 Tottenham. Cursed herself is going for a 2-1 Spurs win. So Cursed and Mark will be making no more points in this week's competition. Jacob, what result are you going for?
Hate to say it, but 2-1 West Ham.
That's 2 weeks in a row. Who invited you?
Trust me, I'm not one of these guys that's going to say we're going to win every week. I'm just being realistic. Like Newcastle was probably a bit of sour grapes from the North London derby, but I watched West Ham play Everton before us. I watched the whole game, and Everton, a team that went to Old Trafford, should have won there, and they've had a really good start, and West Ham made light work of them. So I just think because if it was West Ham playing the same way they were, but it wasn't West Ham, I'll be a bit more confident. But because it's West Ham, we've played West Ham when we're going for a title when they're fighting relegation and lost. So I just think currently they're probably, we can't argue, they're probably a better side than us at the minute. So I've just got a feeling they're going to nick it. I just don't think we've got any defenders that are capable of dealing with Antonio. Their centre midfield pairing probably just deals with everything that we've got because we haven't really got much going forward. So I think they'll be able to control Dembele. And the only hope that I've got is Harry Kane has a good game. If he doesn't, then we're going to lose.
Will she see it, Jacob? Will Kirst actually see a Jacob prediction for Tottenham?
Yeah, when we play Barnet.
Alan, the most positive man on this panel, the best man on this panel by a country mile. Alan is here. Alan Clark is ready to give you his prediction before he goes on the terrace and rips his team apart. So, Alan, please, what is your prediction?
So I agree with what Kirst put there. I predicted on another show it'll be a 2-1 Spurs win. That's what I'm going with. I think West Ham struggle after Europa League games. They've done it so far this season. They've not been at their best. So I think we can capitalise on that. So this is me being positive, but when we lose, I'm going on a terrace and I'm just slagging off everyone. No out. There we go.
I personally am going for a 2-2 draw.
Ooh.
I'm sticking Switzerland on this one, so it is
going for a little Desmond, are you?
Oh, I am. Yes, I am.
Desmond Tutu.
Straight Desmond.
He's got so many splinters up his bum from sitting on the fence, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I've got to get points, Jacob. I need points. I need to win my own competition. I want to buy myself some.
Mate, I'm happy to finish bottom of the league.
Yeah.
If I keep getting it wrong, that's fine.
Oh my God! Remember, bottom of the league, Alan, is who does that dance that you sent on WhatsApp.
All right, okay. It's Jacob with you at the moment.
Yeah. Hey,
I'll do it in my pants, mate. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, you got that. You're sitting on the fence. You've got how many splinters at the moment, Brian? I'm expecting the Ninja Turtles to pop out behind you.
Well, you know what, Alan? I'm in charge. You're gone. That's it. It's as simple as that.
You just give him the Danny Rose treatment. Remember what Mark said about Danny Rose? You don't piss off the bosses, mate.
Correct. Well said, Jacob. So, thank you everyone for watching. Don't forget, obviously, the teams. I'm going to be putting these on Twitter tomorrow. I want everyone to vote whose team's best. I'm just hoping that people from our generation haven't seen Mark's team.
Yeah.
So Alan obviously went for a 4-1-4-1 with Lloris, Walker, Ledley King, Jan Vertonghen, Danny Rose, Dembele, Bale, Van der Vaart, Christian Eriksen, Son and Kane. Mine was Lloris, Carr, Ledley King, Jan Vertonghen, Danny Rose, Dembele, Modric, Van der Vaart, Son, Kane, Ginola. Mark's was Heredio Gomez. Mark's was Clements, Walker, Mabbott, Ledley King, Danny Rose, Stevie Perriman, Ozzy Ardiles, Glenn Hoddle, Paul Gascoigne, Jurgen Klinsmann, and Harry Kane.
Brian, when you put this on Twitter, can you crop out Mark's? Just crop it out. Just cut it out.
Wow.
Jacobs was Hugo Lloris, Stephen Carr, Toby Alderweireld, Ledley King, Danny Rose, Luka Modric, Moussa Dembele, Gareth Bale, Christian Eriksen, Son and Kane. And our lovely, lovely Kirst with her newish young side of Lloris, Walker, Vertonghen, Alderweireld, Rose, Dembele, Højbjerg, Bale, Eriksen, Son and Kane. Those will be on Twitter tomorrow. Mark, do you want to let everyone know where they can find you, apart from
Yeah, find me
the
on Gillingham.
nurse's office?
Yeah. Yeah. You can find me managing Spurs side with all those players together and winning the World Cup. No, just find me on Gillingham. That's where I am talking a lot about Spurs and everything. Love it. Every week we talk about it and staying positive, and looking forward to going to the game on Sunday. And on the way back on the train, messaging you guys saying and sending you pictures of it.
There we go. Jacob, where can everyone find you, mate?
Yeah, same. The links at the bottom. You can just find me there. If you got an Instagram, I've got a name, Jay Shigsy. I've got a few things coming up there soon. I don't know when, but it'll be soon. But for the time being, just catch my comments on Spurs on here.
And Alan, apart from Thursdays, where can everybody find you?
So people can find me on Twitter. There's my handle there. Sorry, this one. That's where they can find me on Twitter. I am on here every Friday night as always. Then I am on the terrace dissing Tottenham whenever we lose and sort of half praising when we do well, like Nuno, because Nuno out. Then I am on Igal's channel of a Thursday for the Premier League prediction show. I am then obviously waiting still for my debut on another Spurs channel, but don't worry, I'll save all my energy for Mark. I'll come in and even if me and Mark, we've had a great week, I'll come in and debate Mark for no reason just to continue it. But that's where everyone can find me.
So as everyone can see, obviously my name there, it is Twitter handle is @RyanMadam1991. You've got Mark, Jacob, Alan, Kirst, obviously everyone's around. You know where to find us. The best place to find us is every Friday, 10 p.m. on the first 11. We are either angry because we've lost, we're either happy that we've won, or in general, as one of the panelists is always upset. I will not say who because he has started to get a bit of a complex. About it.
Not grumpy.
Please join the forever happy Mark, the wonderful happy Jacob, and the grumpy Grinch that is Alan Clark.
Not grumpy. What is going on?
And thankfully, at my own home, I've had a decent internet connection for one Friday. But thank you, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe. First 11, YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitch. Follow us everywhere you go. We will get Kirst on next week. Her and Alan can have a showdown on this show next Friday. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you next Friday.